Alright, so I'm gonna review these two newer albums that haven't even been out for 2 weeks. Um, Obviously, I mean, if you're into metal music, um, I'm pretty sure you know who Killswitch Engage is, and I'm pretty sure you know who Slipknot is. Um, so I'm gonna review these two newer albums that are still fresh off the chopping block, and then these two random albums that I'm just gonna talk and blabber about uh, for a few minutes, and then I'll just shut the fuck up and fuck off. But first, I just want to suck off Slipknot like everyone has been doing for the past week and a half. But obviously, We Are Not Your Kind. This came out, I think, on the 9th. August the 9th, I think, was when this album was officially, debuted or whatnot. But this album really, really fucking exceeded my expectations. Not to say that I'm Mr. fucking high standards or Mr. fucking know it all, but I heard a few songs off of Chapter 5, The Great Chapter. I don't think it's called Chapter 5, The Great Chapter. But anyway, The Great Chapter, I only heard like 3 or 4 songs, and I've never heard it start to finish. So I'm hoping to find it on eBay and kind of just snipe it for $5-10. I don't, if I have the comfort in knowing that I'm gonna get, the legit copy of the album with the album art and it being in like new condition, I mean, I'll fork over the $10. I don't give a shit. I don't mind paying for music. But I might have gave it like one clean listen, one all the way start to finish, and something about the Great Chapter, it just didn't really, I don't know, it didn't resonate with me all that well. Like I said, I want to buy it and hear it again with a different mind, different ears. But I told myself, when this album comes out, We Are Not Your Kind, I'm gonna buy it the day it comes out, and I'm just gonna give it an open mind, open ears listen. And it's for like a week straight, this would not leave my goddamn stereo. Like, I fucking loved it that much. I'm not like a hardcore. I mean, growing up in high school, yeah. I mean, I fucking loved Slipknot. Um, and I was kind of like started getting more and more into like technical, brutal, death metal, black metal type of stuff. So Subliminal Verses, I was kind of like, that's fucking pussy shit, bro. And I didn't really like it back then. Of course, I bought Subliminal Verses like at Best Buy like last year for like $7 and listened to it for like a week straight as well. And was like, I love this album, yay! But anyway, so yeah, this album, We Are Not Your Kind, fucking exceeded my expectations. For like a week straight, I wouldn't stop spinning this. My favorite tracks off this album are Birth of the Cruel, Nero Forte, Orphan, and Not Long for This World. And the closing track is pretty sick. I mean, if I had to choose a favorite song, it would probably be either Orphan or Not Long for This World. But lately I've been jamming Orphan a lot because it just really takes me back to like just the old school like Slipknot sound, and just it has that trash can metronome to it, and just Corey's going off, and just the anger, the aggression. It's all there. It's all there, and so yeah, Orphan's like a really, I think, underrated, overlooked track on this album. Um, it has a few more chilled out, slow, melancholy songs, little transitional instrumentals like Insert Coin or Spiders, or like little weird segues that kind of then kick into more aggressive type of song. And so yeah, I think this album is a fucking banger. I've said it, and 99 times out of 100 people that I either talk to about it or just read up about it, like on websites or forums or whatever. A lot of people will admit that they can at least agree that this is way, way better than their last album, The Great Chapter. So if you haven't checked this out, and if you don't know who Slipknot is, you should really check this fucking album out. Another thing I really love about this album, I mean, some of the instrumentals are just crushing, but I really love Corey's vocal approach. Whether he's singing clean or he's screaming his head off, he balances it all. He balances it perfectly throughout the entire album, in every fucking song. And I think one of my favorite aspects of this album is Corey Taylor's approach to the vocals. And these other ones, I'm gonna try to get through them pretty quick because I'm gonna be here for like 25 minutes. This other one came out I think last week. Killswitch Engage, Atonement. I haven't heard this as much as I've heard the Slipknot album, I'll admit that. I like the instrumentals. I like the tone, the song structures. The only thing I'll nitpick and bitch about this album is that I just wish the lyrical content or the subject matter was a bit more dark, or a bit more angry, or a bit more, like a bit more in your face, just fucking punch your fucking teeth in. But I mean, the songs are killer. Like I said, it's because it just feels like the subject matter is all over the place. Like one song will be like angsty and aggression, then another song will be like, my heart hurts for you too, and then another song will be like, it feels like the subject matter is just all over the place. But I guess I'm just nitpicking at this point. But it's a killer album. The guitar tones, the riffage, everything's it's pretty sweet on this album. I do like it. For an overall 1 out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7, 6.5, 7. But I mean, I guess I should have known what I was getting myself into in regards to the subject matter when there's a track called I Am Broken Too. So I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised with some of it being a little too feely and not enough fucking aggression to it. But it's worth a listen. It's worth checking it out. If you're in the right headspace and the right mind frame, it's a pretty killer album. It delivers more than it kind of sometimes goes off the deep end and is kind of meh, but it delivers far more than it's a disaster, I guess. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But anyway, so yeah, Killswitch Engage, Atonement. I know Howard does like guest vocals on the Signal Fire. That track's pretty sweet. If you can get past, the I am broken too, daddy daddy lovey dovey. If you can get past that and not be a nitpicky jackass like me, probably think it's fucking superb. If I had to choose between Slipknot's We Are Not Your Kind and Killswitch Engage's Atonement, Slipknot fucking decapitates this album. I'm sorry, it just does. But anyway, so that's that. It's like a gatefold little thing off Metal Blade Records. These next two albums, these are just kind of just two random albums that I've been listening to on and off. It could have been anything, but I'm just gonna try to make this quick. This is Suffocation 2017 of The Dark Light. I'm just gonna talk about this real quick and then just wrap it up with this last album. Obviously, fucking death metal legends, fucking Suffocation, Terrence Hobbs, Frank Mullen, Smith, all those motherfuckers. I mean, what more can be said about Suffocation that hasn't been said already? Sick fucking tracks are Clarity Through Deprivation, Your Last Breaths, The Violation, Some Things Should Be Left Alone, Caught Between Two Worlds. I mean, the whole album is fucking crushing. It's all meat, no filler. This one, it will like fucking just rearrange your fucking face and fucking knock your teeth down your throat. After all these decades of writing death metal, I don't know how Terrence Hobbs can continue to keep writing fucking sick, crushing, brutal fucking death metal riffs. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, this album's pretty sick. If I had to choose, like, when it comes to just old school death metal bands, if I had to choose like a favorite new album, I mean, this came out in 2017, so this is like 2 years old, which isn't too old in the death metal world, or whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to legendary death metal bands, if I had to choose my favorite new album in the past, say 3-4 years, since say 2016 up until 2019, if I had to choose one album, one band that I think just crushes it, and it's can go toe to toe with any fucking technical death metal band out there today, or in the past, or years to come into the fucking future, I would have to choose this one right here. I would go to war and I would go to war with anybody and any band and any album, and I would land on Of the Dark Light every time. If I had to choose my favorite, or in my opinion, like just the heaviest like death metal album of a band that's been doing this shit for decades, Nuclear Blast 2017, Of the Dark Light, Terrence Hobbs, You're a Sick Fuck. And this album is to be heard at max volume and max volume only. And just let it fucking... Frank Mullen sounds like a fucking fucking demon from hell, like on this record. His vocals sound so fucking amazing. And then accompanied by, Frank Mullen. Accompanied by Terrence Hobbs. It's writing some sick, disgusting riffs. If you had to choose an album of any old school death metal band that's still releasing music today, if I had to land on one, for now, it'd be this bad boy right here, Of the Dark Light. And here's last but not least, or at least for now, this is a band from Texas. This is their first full-length album. It's a band called Dead to a Dying World, and this album is called Elegy. It was released in 2019. Not too sure if in February or in March. Not too sure. It's off of Profound Lore Records, and it's just an amazing. It's not a death metal band, at all. It's more of a doom metal with hints of like I don't know, it's hard to really put it into just one genre and say, this band, Dead to a Dying World, they're thrash metal. Oh, they're just death metal. They're just this band is a group of really, really talented musicians, really, really talented vocalists. There's 6 tracks on this album. It has to be heard from start to finish. This isn't just a throw it on and skip to track 4 and then just take it off kind of record. Like, fuck no. If you're gonna listen to Dead to a Dying World, give it your undivided attention. You will not regret it. They're a band from Texas, so I just feel like I have to give them a shout out. They're on the Profound Lore Records. Not much more can be said, really. But if you want to discover new music, new bands, if you're tired of listening to Monstrosity and Cannibal Corpse and Napalm Death, try something different, try something new, and give this your undivided attention, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. Just open your eyes, open your mind, open your ears. Throw on Elegy, released in 2019. By a band called Dead to a Dying World. Of Profound Lore Records. Check it out. And that's about all. That's all I have to say about that. So, just four random little records, albums here. Not really technically records, but you get the point. So it's Dead to a Dying World, Elegy, off of Profound Lore Records. Suffocation, Of the Dark Light. Because, if you're into death metal, you've never heard of Suffocation before. That album's fucking crushing. Killswitch Engage, Atonement. It's good. I wish the subject matter was a bit more... But whatever. I'm just being a nitpicky bastard at this point. And of course, We Are Not Your Kind, Slipknot. An album that exceeds by far their last album. And it really just kicked me in the teeth. And I ended up liking it way more than I thought I would. So that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. See y'all motherfuckers later.